Hello, everyone. First off, yeah, Happy New Year's, everyone. Putting 2022 in the books and moving on to 2023. Here's to hoping this year will be, or 2023 is going to be a great year. And yeah, just wanted to make this quick video about the three things I will be focusing on as far as sports card collecting is concerned. Just three tips on, what I think I need to change in order to, continue to collect cards and to build my collection up and try to get the most value as far as you know what my purchases are within the sports card hobby. So I came up with a list of three items I think I want to focus on, and hopefully these tips will be of some help to other collectors that may be watching this video. And yeah, I think these three things these are just based on my own personal observations on what I've seen from just buying this year, kind of been watching what's been going on within sports cards. So I'll go over the list. The three things here are: one, buy more singles; two, buy less retail; and then three, be very choosy about what you purchase, either hobby or retail. So, number one, buy more singles. It's hard to buy singles in a down market because you always think you'll be able to buy it for cheaper. And I think that very well may be the case, right? I mean, we don't know where the bottom is. Uh, I don't think anybody, I don't claim to be able to predict the market. All I can go off is based off of my historical knowledge of sports cards, and make decisions based off of that. So I'll have a few videos on that. I picked up this old Beckett price guide from 2000. I've just been flipping through it, just looking at the values of different things within the sports card world. As far as investing, I'm not a big investor. I don't think sports cards are a great way to invest your money. But at the same time, I feel it's very, very, very important to know what the values of the cards are, just so you're able to make good, informed decisions on what you buy, right? You want your make your money in the hobby go as far as possible, right? There's if we can get if we have $100, right? We want to spend our money and make sure we get $100 worth of stuff or more, right? $150 worth of stuff or as much. We want to make sure to stretch our dollar, make sure it goes as far as possible in the hobby. And this applies to everywhere in life as well. Whether grocery shopping, you're buying a car, you're looking for a place to rent, etc. So always got to be out for that bargain. And singles, I think, are always your best bet. One, buying singles means you will always get the cards that you want because you purchased it. Um, I'm not too big on buying cards to stash away in the hopes that the value will increase. Yeah, just from looking at price guides from the past, yeah, 99. Well, I won't give definite answers or numbers, but it's more likely that the value of your card will drop over time than gain value over time. The last 3 years being a bit of an aberration. So yeah, absolutely. Buy singles, buy the players you like, build your PC. Um, buy singles that don't break the wallet. That you don't won't have regrets purchasing. Or if you buy a big ticket item, then it's got to be something you want, not necessarily something you think you can flip for money. Uh, I don't think I do very well in the flipping aspect of the sports card hobby, so that's just my own personal advice. Certainly, there will be people who do succeed, who do have that hustle, that drive to flip cards in the sports market, and more power if you can. But I found that I'm not very successful at it. So these are just my tips on what I think as far as singles. So I'll be looking for singles. Always look for cheap singles. Anything under $10, stuff like this. Easy pickups. Even if I mean, how much farther can something like this drop? Your $3 singles, your $5 singles, your $10 singles. The bigger you make that number, the harder it is to swallow when you make a poor decision. Although on the other side, the more satisfaction you get when the card does rise in value. But um, yeah, I just don't think I do very well in the singles market. So I certainly am more of a collector. I consider myself definitely more of a collector. So singles are the best way to build your collection, and uh, yeah, I think I always want to emphasize that. Even though a lot of what I do on my channel is opening up sealed products. So next two things on my list have to do with sealed product. So number two, buy less retail. Um, I think, when I go to Walmart or Target and, I look at the shelves, if there's a restock, it's almost like when I live in I don't know, hurricane zone. I'm in Hawaii. And a lot of the things that we do, if there's a hurricane warning or a disaster emergency, our first instinct is to walk over to the toilet paper aisle and buy out all the toilet paper, and then walk to the canned goods section and buy out all the Spam, all the Vienna sausage, all the rice, and just hoard. And I kind of want to get away from that mindset, as far as hobby products are concerned, for a couple of reasons. The big one being, um, my guess is that while the hobby still has a bit of legs, is that Panini and Topps are going to keep the printers go burr and print as much stuff as they can. I mean, they might as well, right? It only makes sense as long as the stuff keeps on selling out, selling off the shelves, and they're still selling it. Then yeah, print as much as you can. Make sure you're able to make the cards as accessible to all the collectors. I think the hobby grows by having as many people interested in sports cards. So a lot of what I do on my channel is to encourage that, is to try to get as many people as possible interested in the hobby, and just provide some tips. What I've gained over, I don't know, what, 25, 30 years of collecting. But I will be buying less retail. Just a few trends, a few things I've noticed as far as products are concerned. So as far as Panini's concerned, they don't state the pack odds on the back of their packs, but you notice you seem like you get less and less out of retail. Autographs harder to come by, and the checklist is so big that it's almost impossible to pull the card that you want off that checklist. The other thing with Panini, it seems like they're splitting retail away from hobby. Before there was a bit more of a closer relationship where you could actually pull good stuff out of hobby, but just from what I've seen out of hobby from Panini, it doesn't seem like you can pull a lot of the more exclusive stuff that's all put in hobby boxes. Their select, their first off the line, all those other higher end products, hobby exclusive, or their Dutch auctions on their website, etc. And to a lesser degree, yeah, Topps. They, I think Topps does a little bit better of a job. They do print the stated print odds on the packs. You can tell, but the numbers have just been climbing up and up, and the parallel rainbows have been growing for all of these things. So retail has become less and less of a value. Not to mention the fact that Walmart, and especially Walmart, they've increased their prices. Blasters used to be $20. Now they're usually 25 or 35 for the higher end stuff like Prism, Select. I think I walked up with a Select Blaster baseball, and they wanted $35. And I was just like, this is ridiculous. I mean, so I put that back on the shelf real quick. Um, but yeah, less retail. Retail is still the best way, the most accessible way to get into the hobby. So I'm not saying not to buy retail, because it's fun to just pick up a blaster here and there, just rip it. For baseball, it's a lot closer to hobby, but for Panini stuff, it's very difficult. So yeah, the big retail products I would focus on are gonna be, as always, Chronicles basketball, Chronicles football. Those are usually my means of collecting baseball or basketball and football cards. And then yeah, Topps. There have been some good Topps releases for retail. Like Topps Update was exceptional this year, so we just have to be picky and choosy about what we purchase off of retail. There are probably some other products that I'm not aware of in other sports, but that's just my general thoughts on retail. Uh, And then the last thing I thought of was just to be very picky and choosy about purchases, especially if you do hobby boxes. I think there's a ways to go as far as returning back to the prices where they're going to be. Um, Prices are still trending downwards, but at the same time, there's still enough people where you can adjust the prices down slowly, and people will still buy it. And I certainly have bought a lot of hobby boxes this year for sure. But I'm trying to make my money stretch a little farther. So I think just a few things, few tips as far as hobby products are concerned. One is to avoid high end stuff. I think they try to make a lot more high end stuff, and I think the quality just has gone down on a lot of these higher end products. Uh, Even for baseball, some of the higher end stuff like museum collection. What are the other ones? Um, Triple threads. What is the other one I'm thinking of? Um, Not heritage. What is it called? But yeah, anyways, stuff like that. Immaculate baseball, Panini Prism, Panini Select. They're your big ticket items. Your even the unobtainium stuff like yeah, national treasures. Uh, I think are just still a little overpriced. I mean, that's honestly, it's the best way to get the best stuff in the hobby. But it seems like there's less and less stuff in there. There's very little chance of you getting the box that's gonna be completely loaded. That's gonna kind of make up for all of the other stuff that you're gonna be buying. So high end stuff, I think that prices are still a lot too high. The the influencer aspect of the hobby now, these are the products they tend to focus on, and I totally get it because nobody wants to watch a 20-minute rip of me opening up like a like a 2021 uh, tops jumbo update jumbo. But I buy it because it's good value, but at the same time, it's no, it's gonna be high end stuff, one pack kind of stuff like Panini One and One or Absolute Hobby. We're looking for kabooms, chase cards, downtowns, monster RPAs, stuff like that is still in high demand, and even within the breaking community, where you're able to have a chance to get a very very nice expensive card at a very reasonable price if you're very lucky. So higher end stuff, I think, is going to be unaffordable for myself. So you're not going to see too many high end breaks on my channel. But I focus on value. I I did spend a little too much money in 2022, especially towards the tail end of the year for the holiday season. Especially at my LCS, they're the best LCS I've ever, um, that I can think of. And they had a crazy sale, ridiculous sale over the holidays. So I kept on going back and buying more and more stuff, and I got to open up and break a ton of stuff, and I got a ton of good stuff that I've been able to show on my channel over the last couple months. But I think, yeah, if they keep the printers going, one, they already have a little too much stuff out there for 2021. So that's why you see the prices kind of drop. And I think they'll drop further until they sell out, until the hobby kind of reaches that equilibrium where, the supply and demand is just basic economics, right? So hopefully we get back to a point where everybody's kind of happy. Sealed product is affordable, reasonably attainable, and we're getting good stuff out of it. The cards that we want, cards we want to put on our PC, cards that other people want that we can trade to other folks or to sell. And yeah, I think as far as being picky and choosy, you know, I don't buy very many products right on release. So, if you're looking for the hottest and latest product, it's probably not going to show up too often on my channel just because, I'm going to pick my spots and wait on, um, what I perceive to be good values, good, a good deal. I'm always looking for a good bargain. And I think the big one this year that I skipped out was Topps Chrome, just from 2020 and 2021. I noticed a couple things. Just the release price point kept on going up and up, and finally after the big initial wave, the price point kept on dropping lower and lower. So I was like, wow, I could have saved a lot of money if I just had waited on Topps Chrome for the last 2 years. And then you see the release price that they wanted for 2022 Topps Chrome, which was, what was it, like $200 a box, 240 or something ridiculous, right? It's 600 for a jumbo, and then if you look at the prices now, I mean, yeah, I'm just glad I stayed away from Topps Chrome. There are a few other products like that are also my favorites. Like Topps Finest is another one of my favorites. Just had to hold off on. I saw the pre-purchase on that was over 200, something like 220. Where in past years, I remember picking up a box of Finest even in 2020 for 150, $160. So it doesn't make any sense that the price point on those kept on going up. So just thinking about stuff like that, as far as what to purchase. I think with update, and update is the contrary point to that. Price point on update seemed about right on release, right? So that 110, 130, 110, 120, something like that for hobby box, and 200, 220 for jumbos. I think the prices have risen a little bit on those. I haven't really checked, but the price seems right on update, so I went all in on update. So just have to think about which products to buy and release and which products to skip out on a little bit more, not just fear of missing out. It seems like the majority of products are going to drop from the release point. Just everything's still a little too high. They're going to slowly adjust until. That only makes sense from a business point. If I were a dealer, then I'd do the same thing. So at least for a little while, yeah, be wary about purchasing stuff on release. So that's something that I will be trying to do a little better. Yeah, 2023. I think there's a few other things I want to do. Pokemon. I want to do a little bit more Pokemon. I'll probably focus a little less on Magic. Just don't like what they're doing with changing the product configurations and making it more like the sports card world. I only view that as bad for Magic. So, there'll be more videos on my thoughts on Magic and Pokemon and other collectibles. So, probably even a few things will be changing with the channel. But that's kind of my thoughts for 2023. Those are the three things I'll be focusing on. Buying more singles, buying less retail, being very picky and choosy about what I purchase personally to open. And yeah, I think that might be the niche of this channel, is to focus on looking for good values, underrated cards, stuff like that. It's certainly the financial aspect, the gambling aspect. You have to be aware of it. If you ever played poker or blackjack, it's not about making all the right. Well, it is about making all the right plays, but the players who win money are the people who make the fewest mistakes, right? So if you're at a blackjack table, you play, 100 hands. The difference between you being profitable and unprofitable in sessions can often be, a few mistakes. So you really cannot afford to make mistakes, a few lost hands here and there. That's usually the difference between you and being a profitable poker or blackjack player. Just a little aside. I know this isn't a gambling channel, but I think the same principles can be applied to sports cards. You just want to make good decisions and make your money go as far as you can in the hobby, so you can get as much collectible cards to add to your personal collection. And so those are the three things I will be focusing on in 2023. I just hope everyone has a blessed New Year's, as we put 2022 in the books. And here's to hoping 2023 is going to be a great year. So, yep, awesome. Thank you very much for watching.